impeachment motion that is expected to be tabled in Parliament this afternoon. My name is Grace Nganga, but I'm not alone. I'm joined by my colleagues who are in the CBD City Centre. One is in Parliament, Daniel Kariuki there, who will be giving us an update on the feel of members of Parliament, as that particular motion is expected to be tabled anytime when the members of Parliament, kick-start the afternoon session in Parliament. As well, I'll be joined by Jeff Kirui on the other side, and he's also going to be telling us a feel of what Kenyans are thinking about this particular impeachment motion. But right away, let us start off with Daniel Kariuki in Parliament. Daniel, good afternoon. What are we supposed to expect this afternoon? Earlier on, you had told us that this particular motion is not in today's order paper. Kariuki.
Right. Such a motion, Grace, most of the time is not highlighted in the order paper. Remember, the order paper is the approval of the House Business Committee. And if the motion had not reached to the House Business Committee, then it cannot be lined up for discussion, or rather for debate in the House, because the House Committee, the House Business Committee that is always constituted once the Parliament are back from the long recess, is after every session there is a House Business Committee that is always constituted, and that's the one that comes up with the business of the day. And so the House Business Committee did not come up with the business of the day. However, the person who is going to be moving the motion had already gone to the Speaker's office and had already informed the Speaker of the intention to table this kind of a motion. And the Speaker, the first day, always looks at the threshold, and if the motion that the member is seeking to table meets the threshold. And part of the threshold on this case, or rather in this case, the impeachment of a deputy president, is having at least between 117 and 133 members of Parliament having their signatures, appending their signatures in this motion for it to see the light of the day. And so I believe the reason the Speaker will be informing the House of that intention to have that motion being tabled. Away from that, we have of course confirmed that the Member of Parliament for Kibwezi West, that's Mwengi Mutuse, will be tabling this motion in the afternoon. And there is already a motion, or rather he has already drafted the motion that he seeks to table this afternoon. What is surprising is most of the time, if you have been very keen, there has been a very big debate on who is going to be tabling this motion. And it has been alleged that those who have been baying for the Deputy President's blood, in this case in terms of impeachment, were seeking to, or rather were looking for someone who could table this motion. And Mwengi Mutuse has not been really vocal in matters to do with impeaching the Deputy President, if you have been keen, but we'll be keen to know exactly how he came up with this motion and what has actually pushed him to have this motion. And maybe, Grace, I can look at one or two things that Mwengi Mutuse is seeking to bank on in terms of tabling this motion. Of course, he will be he's banking on the Article 150 and 145 of the Constitution, and of course the standing orders of the House, standing orders 64 and 65, that guides on how you can table a motion. And as he seeks to resolve to remove from office by way of impeachment the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that's for now Deputy President Gachagua. So those are the articles that he's going to be banking on, and one of the articles being the Article 150 that highlights matters to do with gross violation of the Constitution. And he has actually highlighted some of these issues that he's seeking to use or to table in the House, and use them as reasons and basis to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And also, I had told you earlier about the accusation of not promoting unity across the country. Remember, the Deputy President is a part of the presidency, and according to the constitution, the presidency is a sign, or rather is a symbol of national unity. And according to this motion, is that the deputy president has not been promoting unity. In fact, he says that in several occasions he has talked about the shareholders in terms of the shareholders in the government. And you can remember this that when the deputy president was talking about the shareholding, there was a back and forth between the opposition and the government, that's the Kenya Kwanza, because the opposition claimed that the Kenya Kwanza side had already were not uniting the country. And so this has been highlighted as one of the reason, or one of the examples that the deputy president has not promoted unity in the country. And they have also given some highlights of some of the statements that he had made concerning promoting unity. Now, Grace, in terms of the numbers in the House, for the deputy president to be impeached, if the voting is going to be happening, and of course it's not going to be happening today. Today is just the speaker is just tabling the motion and the speaker giving the ruling if the motion meets the requisite, or rather meets the threshold according to the articles of 64 and 65 of the standing orders of the House, and Article 150 and 145 of the Constitution. If he rules that the motion meets the threshold, or that the motion can be adopted in the House and debated, then that debate is going to be taking place either between tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, or until Tuesday, and then the voting will eventually happen. Now, this one is not the voting that happens with the simple majority. We all know about the simple majority is the ayes and the nays, but this one is voting so that they can meet the exact number, because the Constitution and the standing orders have given that the requisite number is 2/3 of the members of Parliament. And in this case, 2/3 is approximately 233 members of Parliament. If 233 members of Parliament vote in support of the motion, then Deputy President will have stand impeached in the National Assembly. And the same motion, and with the outcome, will be moved to the Senate. And again, the Senate will be subjected to voting. And once the Senate also approves the voting, then it means that, or approve the motions when voting, then it means the deputy president will have been impeached. And now the area that the deputy president is looking forward to banking on is meeting that number, the requisite number, the 233 members of Parliament. Of course, we understand that more than 240 members of Parliament have appended the signature to the motion. But now, in terms of voting, will they get 233 members? For the time that I have been covering Parliament, Grace, I have realized that sometimes it is usually not easy to get the entire number. But in this case, maybe the mover of the motion, which seems to be backed by a section of government, might be in this case having maybe the numbers, because they're also banking on the opposition side that has already been roped into government, that has already been incorporated into government. So we are talking about the ODM party, which most of the, or rather some of the officials are already in government, in the broad-based government, and we have already been hearing the members of Parliament in the ODM side also pushing for the impeachment of the deputy president. So we'll be looking at the numbers. We are looking, and we are going to be looking at how many numbers that the mover of the motion and, well, those in support of the motion can be able to raise to ensure that they have gotten the 2/3 of the members to vote out and remove the deputy president from the office. In the Senate, we all know there are 68 senators in that house, and approximately 47 of them vote in those who are elected most of the time vote in the House, and at least having at least 28 senators vote in support of it, then the motion would have been adopted, or rather would have already gone through. So it is it's a situation, is a catch-22 situation to those who are pushing for the motion, and also to the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Of course, he has met his lawyers and he's looking at options that he can manage to stop the impeachment, to try and at least stop it from happening. And if it goes ahead and the motion is adopted by the House, then what he can do, if at all he is impeached, and some of these things that he is looking forward to is stopping it maybe in courts if it happens. And he has been meeting his lawyers. Last week he met his lawyers at the current residence of the Deputy President, and also yesterday we understand that there was a meeting that happened. All these are trying to come up with ways that they are going to stop his impeachment. And of course, he has had allies who have said that, who have been threatening of ensuring that the motion does not go through the House. Are they going to be able to stop it today? That is, of course, some of the things that we are going to be looking forward and keenly following to see if indeed the allies to Deputy President will manage to stop the tabling of this motion. And again, what Deputy President right now is thinking, and his time being the Deputy President, of course, hanging now in the balance as we look at the 2:30 p.m. sitting that is going to be taking place today. Grace.
Right, once again,